Kilimanjaro Safaris. In order to keep your wait time to a minimum, we ask that you please keep your group together, keep up with the party in front of you, and fill in all the available space. It is not necessary to form a single file line. If you are traveling with a stroller, then
Reminders before we go out and get started. Keep those hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the truck and remain seated at all times. If you look above your head, there is an animal spotting guide up there. And we'll do our best to find as many of those animals as we can. And we go there laying in the ground. And there's also some greater kudus standing up. And on the right is the okapi. Now, greater kudus, they are some of the tallest antelopes in the world, reaching heights of 55 inches just at the shoulder. Those are females there, as only the males carry horns. But both male and female bongos carry horns, and those bend backwards to help them get through all the entanglement here in the forest. Now, there's also a saddle-billed stork here on the right. They get their name from the yellow saddle shape that rests on its beak. It does have an average wingspan of 9 feet in the forest. Now, female okapis, they are generally slightly taller than their male counterparts. And although they kind of resemble zebras with their leg stripes, they're the closest known relative to giraffes. That's because they share a similar skull structure and a long prehensile tongue that relates them to those giraffes. Now, their tongues can reach about 16 inches long. And all these grayish birds here on the island, these are the pink-backed pelicans. And they get their name as they turn a pinkish color during their mating season. It's actually their skin that will change colors and not their feathers, just like us humans blushing. Pelicans are colonial nesters, and they'll be anywhere from 20 pairs to 500 pairs. And a group of them. Now, those are the nine. They have their body weight in just one sitting. Those are the large. Cool themselves off. Now, this tree here on the right, this is the baobab tree. These trees go leafless about 9 months out of the year. They're often referred to as the upside down tree, as it kind of looks like their roots stick up in the. Now, another common name for them is the tree of life, That's because they can store thousands of gallons of water in their trunks at a time. Now we are making our way into the largest part of the reserve here, the savannah. And the savannah is home to Africa's much more popular and iconic wildlife, like the Maasai giraffes. Now giraffes are the tallest animals, reaching 18 to 20 feet tall. Just like our fingerprints here. Now a group of zebras like this is called a dazzle. And if you're wondering if they are white with black stripes or black with white stripes, you can tell by looking at the pigment on their nose. So Hartman Mountain zebras, they all have black noses, meaning they are actually black with white stripes. And a baby zebra actually has the ability to imprint on its mother's stripe pattern. That way it can always recognize her and remain close to her for that first year of life. Now standing up, walking around, these are the African wild dogs. Now they are also known as the painted dogs. And their coat patterns are so unique that they can actually identify one another from 2 miles away from one another. But don't let their cuteness fool you. They are the most successful predator with a success rate of 90%. On the right hand side here, these are the Ankoli cattle. Now those horns might look very heavy, but they have a honeycomb-like structure on the inside. And that helps them in their blood circulation to help keep their body temperature regulated. Now the browner colored antelopes laying down over there on the left, those are the sable antelopes. And the little ones, those are the springbok. Now springbok get their name, which means springing buck, as they can spring about 6 feet up into the air and about 13 feet forward. And when they do that, it is called pronking. Now they are small at only about 3 feet tall, but what they lack in height, they make up for in speed, as they're one of the top 10 fastest animals in the world and can reach speeds of 50 to 60 miles per hour. And because of that speed, they are mascots for a bunch of teams in South Africa. Now on both sides of the truck are some Maasai giraffes. You can see them using that prehensile tongue to grasp at all those leaves there. Now their tongues are actually purple. That helps prevent any sunburn, as their tongues are exposed to the sun for the majority of the day, as giraffes only sleep about 30 minutes each day. And they'll often sleep standing up, as laying down makes them much more vulnerable to predators. Now these tannish colored antelopes here, these are the Patterson elands. Now elands are known for those spiral horns of theirs. And during mating season, the boys will cover those horns in a bunch of flowers and grass to make themselves appear much more attractive for the ladies. They do stand out about 6 feet tall, but they have the ability to jump about 8 feet straight up into the air. These here are the wildebeest. Wildebeest is Afrikaans, meaning wild beast. And over 1.5 million of them will migrate across Africa every single year. And you can actually track their migration patterns all the way from space due to the amount of dirt that they will kick up as they migrate. A group of wildebeest is called a confusion. That's because they will run in all different directions in order to confuse any predator. And wildebeest are often nowadays, animals don't really blend in as naturally, and they instead have to rely more on their speed and agility for survival. Now we are passing by more baobab trees. Once the elephants, like the ones on our left, will come over and puncture holes in them. Help everyone on the savannah get some much needed water. Now these are the African elephants, and you can tell as those ears are shaped like the continent of Africa. Now their ears are also filled with blood vessels, and just by flapping their ears, elephants can actually cool themselves off up to 15 degrees. Those trunks of theirs can reach about 6 feet long, and they have more muscles in their trunks than we do in our entire body. And you'll often see them using their trunks to fling dirt, mud, and sand up onto their back, as that'll act as a natural sunscreen, as elephants have incredibly sensitive skin. On the right hand or left hand side, these are the greater flamingos. Now they are the lightest in color and largest of all flamingo species. They get their pink coloration from the beta carotene that's found in their diet of mainly brine shrimp. It does take about 2 to 3 years for that pink to develop, so any gray and white ones you're seeing are the younger ones of the group. A group of flamingos is called a flamboyance, and this one happens to live on a very familiar shaped island, as it is shaped like Mr. Mickey Mouse. Now if you are looking for those brighter pink flamingos, those would be the lesser flamingos. And you can find them in the front of the park on the left side of the Tree of Life if you are looking at the tree from the park entrance. And we have crossed over to the eastern side of the reserve, which is home to the white rhinos, which I have found straight ahead of us. And that giant mud pit there in the middle on the left, they created that. Now those are the white rhinos there, and also some water buck further back. Now white rhinos can get up to 5,000 pounds. And they'll come over to this mud wallow and take mud baths in it. And if you look along the bottom of the trees and on the rocks there, they are covered in the mud. As the rhinos will take a mud bath, cover themselves in the mud, and then brush their horns up against the trees, as their horns are made out of keratin just like our fingernails. So by doing that, they file down their horns like we do our fingernails.
We have carrots?
Now on the left there, those are some cheetahs laying down. Now cheetahs are the fastest land animals, reaching 60 miles per hour in just 3 seconds. A group of cheetahs is called a coalition. And they have incredibly muscular tails, which kind of acts like a rudder on a boat. And it helps them change directions as well as keep their balance as they run. And cheetahs also have black tear marks that run underneath their eyes. And those act as their natural sunglasses, as cheetahs will often do the majority of their hunting during the daytime. Now this giant rock formation here, this is a kopie. Now kopies are generally homes to some much larger cats like the lions. Lions do tend to be much more active during the nighttime, as they typically rest about 16 to 20 hours a day. So we'll see if there are any out and about this afternoon. There are 3 lions here on the reserve, 2 sisters and 1 male. And the male was actually the model for Simba and Mufasa in the remake of The Lion King just a few years back. Now it does look like we have found a bunch more of white rhinos. Now a group of rhinos is called a crash, which is a fairly accurate name, as they have terrible eyesight, can only see about 10 feet in front of them, and can reach speeds of 30 miles per hour.
Lion is sleeping there. A lion is sleeping there, see?
Now it does look like some of the lions are out right now sleeping.
See?
Having a lion pride, it's actually the females who will go out and do the hunting.
There are 2, Nana.
All the males will stay back, guard the territory, and any cubs. The reason the females will go out and do the hunting is they weigh significantly less, as the manes that the males carry can weigh up to 40 pounds. Now, lions do have pretty comparable daytime vision to ours, but their nighttime vision is about 6 times more powerful. And when a lion roars at its full power, you can hear that roar from 5 miles away. So that would take you all the way over to Epcot. Now, straight ahead on the right are the ostrich.
We're going back to Epcot.
Now, ostriches, although they have wings, they are a flightless bird. They instead use their wings as their steering wheels. They can reach speeds of about 40 miles per hour. Now, on the right are also the water buck. Now, water buck, for an antelope species, drink an insanely large amount of water, and you'll never find them too far away from a water source. Now, those ostriches do lay some pretty giant eggs, which are right here on the right after that tall patch of grass there. Just see them, they are bright yellow. Now, ostrich eggs are incredibly strong, and a grown adult can stand on them and not even crack them. And 1 ostrich egg is equivalent to 2 dozen chicken eggs, and they'll both weigh about 3 to 4 pounds. Protects all the animals out here, and right now it looks like there are some Nigerian dwarf goats hanging out here. Now, they are small, but they're fully grown. They're incredibly playful, friendly, and social animals. And their playing actually helps them in their maturity. Now, they also have a tremendous sense of balance, and you'll often find the goats climbing up on the roof and up onto the truck they have there. Now, they are also dairy goats, and their milk is known to be incredibly sweet. Now, we did just find a bunch of really cool animals, and they do need our help. Now, that can be just as simple as reducing, reusing, and recycling. So getting those reusable water bottles, straws, and even silverware is all a great way to start reducing all that plastic waste. And making sure we recycle as much paper as we can, so we can help out those animals in the forest who rely on trees for their survival. Remember what a lot. So go out there, make those differences, spread your knowledge, and together we can help out all of these animals. Now, if there were any wilderness explorers on board, you have been riding on the Simba 1. Now, that is Simba like the lion and the number 1. Now, if you're looking for some other opportunities to see some animals, I do recommend checking out the walking trail.